Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise and really focus on the insights that matter. Today, we're plunging into cybersecurity. I mean, it's this ever-evolving world, isn't it? And it touches everything you do online from, just scrolling through social media to the actual critical national infrastructure that keeps things running. Our mission, really, for this deep dive is to pull out the key insights from recent expert discussions, give you a bit of a shortcut to understanding the biggest digital threats right now, and more importantly, the actual strategies you can use to navigate them. We're going to explore this constant state of vulnerability we all kind of share online and how both the threats and the solutions are constantly adapting. It's a moving target. We've got a great stack of sources, commentary from really seasoned cybersecurity experts, covering everything, really, from the personal risks of your online habits right up to huge cyber attacks on entire countries. So yeah, get ready for some, I think, genuinely surprising facts and connections here. Right, let's kick things off where, let's face it, many of us spend a lot of our digital day. Social media. These platforms, they've just transformed so quickly. They're not just connection tools anymore. They're these vibrant marketplaces, centers of emotion, and yeah, unfortunately, increasingly sophisticated places for fraud. What really jumped out at me from our sources was this statistic. Did you know that something like 26.5% of global internet users now regularly use social media to search for products? And it's not just looking anymore. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, you can buy stuff without even leaving the app. Yeah.
It's like the ultimate frictionless shopping.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, it makes me wonder if that convenience comes at a hidden cost.
It absolutely does. And, what's particularly insidious is how that exact convenience you mentioned is being, well, meticulously exploited by malicious actors. Cyber criminals have become incredibly good at using sophisticated emotional marketing strategies. These are the same ones legitimate businesses use, actually, but they twist them.
How so?
Well, think about the tactics you see constantly. That intense urgency, right? Buy now or lose it. Or offer ends in like 24 hours. Then there's scarcity last units, or
Right.
limited stock.
Oh, yeah, I see those all the time. Exactly. And that feeling of exclusivity, just for you, or special follower discount. These aren't just clever marketing to sell things legitimately. When fraudsters use them, they're designed to make you act fast without thinking, to lower your guard, essentially bypass your rational brain. One expert we looked at put it quite starkly, saying these tactics, while fine for normal sales, create an open door for evil when fraudsters use them. It's almost like we're being inadvertently trained by everyday marketing to be susceptible to these scams.
Wow, that's a really profound way to look at it. Not just what fraudsters do, but how legitimate tactics kind of pave the way. So, okay, this impulse buy in social media is one danger, but aren't these platforms and honestly countless other sites also conditioning us to just hand over more personal data than we even realize, creating this, even bigger vulnerability down the line? We're giving up emails, phone numbers, home addresses. Sometimes for what seems like nothing, like a free trial or a tiny discount. I know I've completely lost track of where my personal data is now. It must be scattered across thousands of websites and services.
You've absolutely hit on a critical point there. It's this whole issue of our digital footprint. It gets multiplied across thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of sites. And cybercriminals, they are very, very good at piecing together this scattered information.
So they don't need one big breach.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
They can combine little bits from many different places. A phone number here, an email there, maybe some purchase history from another site. And they build a surprisingly complete profile of you. Now, while you do have rights, like in Europe, to unsubscribe and ask for data deletion.
Right, GDPR and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah. The huge challenge, as you said, is often just knowing where you're even registered in the first place. How can you ask for deletion if you don't know who has it? Thankfully, there are tools emerging. Things like dark web scanners can help monitor if your email or other details pop up where they shouldn't online. It gives you that crucial early warning. It's maybe a small step, but it's something towards regaining a bit of control.
Okay, that's a good starting point, a tool like that. But given how sophisticated these scams look, now, I mean, sometimes they look exactly like the real thing, is just being cautious enough. What's maybe the most overlooked defense that people listening should really think about, beyond the obvious don't click strange links?
That's a fantastic question. Because caution can feel a bit vague, can it? And people get alert fatigue. I'd argue the most overlooked but critically important defense is actually reporting fraud.
Reporting it, even if it's small.
Yes, absolutely. Even seemingly small incidents. When you report them to the authorities like the police or national cyber units, and to the platform where it happened and to your bank or payment provider, all those reports collectively build up a bigger intelligence picture. They help tune the detection systems for everyone. Think of it like contributing to a sort of communal digital immune system.
I like that analogy.
Beyond that, the standard guidance from experts is still vital, of course. Be incredibly careful what you share. Only give the strictly necessary details for any transaction. Always verify. Check privacy policies, look up company details independently if you're unsure. Be really skeptical of deals that seem way too good to be true.
Trust your gut feeling.
Definitely. If something feels off, it probably is. And finally, robust digital education, using good antivirus software, secure browsing habits. These are just non-negotiable basics now. We really must not normalize cybercrime, no matter how small the amount seems, because even a small loss for you helps enable a system that perpetrates much larger crimes against others.
Right. It's clear individual vigilance and that proactive reporting you mentioned are really key. But what happens when the target isn't just, your wallet, but the actual infrastructure of a city or even a whole country? Are these bigger entities facing the same kinds of too good to be true traps, or are the attacks fundamentally different?
It's often a different scale and type of attack, yeah.
Because our sources show this worrying trend. You might think, why would anyone attack a city council? But they are increasingly attractive targets. We saw this just recently, didn't we? The confirmed cyber attack on Oxford City Council in early June. It severely disrupted their services, led to personal data of former employees being exposed. They actually had to shut down their main systems preventatively. And it's not new, is it? We remember similar attacks on cities like Baltimore, Baton Rouge, going back years.
That's right.
So what is it about a city council or a similar public body that makes it such an appealing target for these bad actors?
That's an excellent question, and it really speaks to how cybercrime is evolving. City councils and many public institutions, they often handle just a treasure trove of sensitive personal data for residents, employees. Plus, they provide essential services. If those get disrupted, it causes widespread chaos, right? And that puts pressure on them to pay ransoms, for instance.
The ransomware angle.
Exactly. And another factor is while they manage critical stuff, their cybersecurity budgets and maybe even their in-house expertise often lag behind, say, a big multinational corporation. So you've got this combination: valuable data, critical services, and sometimes, unfortunately, weaker defenses. That makes them a prime target. What strikes me from the analysis is this constant need for significant investment, not just for basic protection, but for deep resilience, planning for when things do go wrong. And we often see this blurry line between a technical glitch and a full-blown cyber attack.
Like, it's hard to tell initially.
Sometimes, yes. For example, the Manila government website went offline recently. Was it a technical issue? Was it a cyber attack? It was under investigation. Similarly, there was a case where a livestock auction in Salida got suspended. They called it a cyber attack, or possibly a technical failure.
A livestock auction, wow.
Yeah, it shows how these issues can just ripple out and disrupt totally unexpected sectors like agriculture, the primary industry, the supply chain. It reminds us that basically no part of our interconnected world is truly immune.
That is genuinely unsettling, the idea that even a livestock auction can get hit. Okay, so let's scale up even further. What happens when an entire country faces what's described as an unprecedented cyber offensive? Our sources dig into exactly this with the large-scale attacks on Sweden. The specifics mentioned were distributed denial-of-service attacks, DDoS attacks, designed basically to flood systems and overwhelm them.
That's the goal, yeah.
And the impact was pretty significant. Public TV broadcasts were actually stopped. Essential services, including their main electronic ID system, Bankit, were blocked.
Yeah, imagine that. Your digital ID just stops working.
That kind of attack at a national level, it really shows the potential for just widespread chaos. It makes you wonder about the sheer force needed to pull that off.
Oh, the scale is staggering when you look at the mechanics of these national-level attacks. The Swedish attacks, they estimated involved something like 30,000 to 40,000 compromised IP addresses. Just think about that number.
That's huge. Is that typical?
It's a scale we have seen before, unfortunately. It's reminiscent of the 2016 Mirai botnet attack, which took down major websites globally. What these bad actors do is create these huge networks of zombie devices.
Zombie devices.
Yeah, often vulnerable IoT devices. Internet of Things, things like smart cameras, maybe home routers, stuff that people haven't changed the default passwords on.
So everyday gadgets.
Exactly. They compromise thousands of these devices and then command them all to launch coordinated attacks simultaneously. It's like sending millions of requests all at once to a single website or service. It just overwhelms the target, effectively shutting it down. And effective security, especially at this kind of national level, it really rests on three critical pillars. You need robust technology, things like web application firewalls for defense. You need skilled people, the experts who define strategies, manage the tech, know how to respond. And you need clear procedures, well-defined plans for rapid detection and response when an attack happens. Without all three working together, a nation remains incredibly vulnerable.
Okay, that leads to a pretty critical question then for you listening wherever you are. Could this, what happened in Sweden, happen in other highly digitalized countries, like Spain or maybe your own country? And what are the bigger picture implications of being that vulnerable?
It's absolutely a real possibility, and honestly, probably an increasingly likely scenario.
Yeah.
So many countries now are deeply reliant on digital services, just like Sweden was or is.
We all are, to some extent.
We really are. And the implications are profound. Look at Sweden. As one of the most digitalized nations globally, they're now actually reconsidering that extreme reliance. Specifically, they're reevaluating their long-standing plan to completely eliminate cash.
Really? Go back to cash.
It's seriously considering reintroducing it, or at least maintaining it, as an emergency plan. For when digital systems inevitably fail, whether it's an attack or a major outage, imagine trying to buy food or get a transport if all digital payment systems just went down simultaneously.
Absolute chaos.
That's the phrase they used, absolute chaos. This move is about preventing that, ensuring basic life can continue. It's a very pragmatic admission, really, that technology, for all its wonders, has limits. And a truly resilient society probably needs some analog fallbacks. It strongly suggests that even the most digitally advanced nations are realizing they might have gone a bit too far, putting all their eggs in that one digital basket.
That is fascinating. And yeah, kind of counterintuitive, isn't it? The most digital nations thinking about bringing back cash. It really underlines the sheer complexity of this interconnected world we've built. Now, amidst all these, frankly, quite scary threats and complex technical stuff, there is a crucial beacon: the human element, expertise, education. It's not just about the tech, it's about the people who understand it, who can communicate why it's important, and who help us all build resilience. And our sources highlighted some good news on this front. Pablo Samiterio, who was a key voice in some of the material we reviewed,
Yes, Amen.
he recently received the prestigious ISACA Award for Best Cybersecurity Dissemination.
Yeah, ISAC's a huge deal. It's a highly esteemed international organization, focuses on IT auditing, governance, security, very well respected. And what that award for dissemination really highlights, I think, is the vital role of making these complex cybersecurity concepts accessible, understandable to a much broader audience, getting the message out there. Exactly. It's not just PR. It's fundamental for building a stronger collective digital culture. When experts like Pablo break down the jargon, explain the why behind the what, they empower everyone, individuals, organizations, to take more proactive steps. It's that crucial bridge between the deep technical know-how and general public awareness.
Precisely. And this recognition really underscores that knowledge sharing is just a cornerstone of our collective digital safety. Understanding the institutions, the experts who make up this cybersecurity network, that's just as important as our individual safe clicking habits, isn't it? Because they're the ones building those bigger picture defenses and helping us all understand where the next threat might be coming from. It brings us right back to that initial idea of being well-informed as perhaps your very first line of defense. So we've covered a lot of ground today, from those personal risks lurking in your online shopping, that multiplying digital footprint, right up to the national implications of cyber warfare, and even seeing a highly digitalized nation like Sweden rethinking its dependence on purely digital systems. Our aim with this deep dive was really to give you a clearer, maybe more nuanced perspective on this constantly evolving digital landscape and what it actually means for you.
And this really prompts us, I think, to consider something vital. We've seen that this army of bad actors, as it's sometimes called, is vast. It's growing, and it often operates in ways that can make you an unwitting victim, caught in the crossfire almost. And while the tools and the knowledge are increasingly available, many of us, well, we still remain quite passive in securing our digital lives. Maybe assuming, it won't happen to me, or perhaps feeling the issues are just too complex to tackle individually.
Yeah, it can feel overwhelming. So the final thought for you, as you navigate your digital day: how much more proactive could you actually be in securing your own digital footprint, especially knowing that the stakes really do range from, a compromised bank account right up to potentially a paralyzed national infrastructure. What's one small action, maybe something overlooked until now, that you will take today to strengthen your digital resilience, even just a little bit? Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We really hope this knowledge empowers you to navigate the digital world with a bit more confidence and definitely more awareness.